Hi mga anak! Kamusta na kayo? This is Ma'am Sharon Arnoyola, your science teacher. Para sa inyo ito mga anak, ginawa itong PowerPoint na to para mas madali nating matutunan ang ating mga topic. Okay, so looks familiar sa ating first picture? Yes, that will be our first topic for quarter 3, week 4, using our PowerPoint presentation. Did you watch the news last July 2020 about the megalodon tooth found in Bohol? Kung hindi, hanapin natin sa YouTube yung kay Jessica Soho. Yung picture na yan ang dapat natin i-click para mapanood natin ang buong detalye. Yung movie, The Meg, napanood natin. Have you ever asked yourself why your body is like that? Does your structure something to do with the evolutionary concept? Minsan ba naisip natin, bakit lagi tayong ikinukumpara sa mga unggoy? And that will be our topic. Explain how fossil records, comparative anatomy, and genetic information provide evidence for evolution. Paano natin lahat ito malalaman? So we need to explain how fossil records, genetic information, comparative anatomy provide evidence for evolution using image, pictures, and video clips. Explain how the rock formation, geologic timescale, and carbon dating can be used in determining the age of fossils, and recognize the importance of different evidence for evolution. Let us take a look at this picture. How about this picture? And this? Okay. All of them, they are called as fossils. But the question is, gaano ba kaimportante ang fossils na to serve as an evidence for evolution? According to these paleontologists, fossils are important evidence for evolution because they show that life on Earth was once different from life found on Earth today. Paleontologists? Ano po ba o sino po ba yung mga paleontologists? Paleontologist is a person who studies fossils. The science that deals with the study of fossils are paleontology. Kapag tao, paleontologist. Yung pinag-aaralan, paleontology. Now, I want you to observe the different pictures here. How about this picture? Do they have something in common? Of course, kung ang pag-uusapan ay yung mismong itsura nila, magkaiba sila. Kasi yung naunang picture, yun ay fossil ng halaman, at yung sumunod na picture, yun ay fossil ng insekto. Pero na-identify natin kasi may naiwan na organic materials. How about this picture? And this picture? Okay. Shallow external molds left by an organism with little or no organic materials left. Fossils can be classified into two. It's either compression or impression. So ano ang pagkakaiba ng dalawa? Kapag sinabing compression, mayroong naiwan na organic materials. Impression, bakat lang ng fossil ang naiwan. We have here two rock layers. And according to this picture, at sa mga nakaraang topic din natin nung tayo nasa first quarter pa, At saka yung mga naging topic ninyo na kayo nasa lower year pa, age of rocks can be determined based on their layers. May matanda at may batang rock layers. For example, etong si paleontologist na hukay si trilobite fossil doon sa parteng older rock layer. At eto, si dinosaur bone doon naman sa younger rock layers. So, ang tanong dito, sino kaya sa dalawang fossil ang mas matanda? Yung kayang trilobite fossil na nakita sa older rock layer o yung dinosaur bone na nakita o nahukay doon sa younger rock layers? Yes, tama ang sagot mo. Mas matanda si trilobite fossil kesa sa dinosaur bone kasi si trilobite fossil ay nahukay doon sa older rock layer at itong si dinosaur bone ay nahukay naman sa younger rock layers. Ano ang tawag sa method na ginawa ng mga paleontologists na to? This is what we call relative dating. Pag sinabi natin relative dating, method used to determine the age of rocks by comparing them with rocks in other layers. Okay, mga anak, hindi pa to fossil kasi ito ay buhay pa. Ngayon, bigyan natin siya ng istorya. Noong nabubuhay pa itong hayop na to, hindi lang oxygen kasi ang na-absorb niya. Meron ding carbon-14 na pumapasok sa katawan niya. So, paano ngayon magagamit ng paleontologist yung carbon-14 just to determine the age of the fossil? Unang-una, dapat siya ay patay. Ngayon, halimbawa, etong si fossil ay namatay ngayon. So, meaning, 100% pa na carbon-14 ang nasa katawan niya. Mag-intay tayo mula sa araw na to ng 5,730 years para siya ay maging fossil. Nahukay ngayon to ni paleontologist. Na-detect niya, nalaman niya na yung carbon-14 sa fossil na to ay 50% na lang. So, kalahati na agad ang nawala. Next, 5,730 years times 2, and that will be 11,460 years. Na-detect, nalaman ni paleontologist na 25% na lang na carbon-14 ang nasa fossil. 11,460 years plus 5,730 years uli, and that is 17,190 years. Nahukay ni paleontologist uli ang fossil na to at meron na lang to na 12.5% na carbon. So kung i-analyze natin yung kwento, got the 5,730 years lang nababawasan ng kalahati ang carbon-14 doon sa fossil. Kasi ang half-life ng carbon-14 is 5,730 years. So, paano po nagamit ni paleontologist yung carbon-14 na nasa fossil? Simple lang. Halimbawa, eto si paleontologist ay may nahukay na dalawang klase ng fossil. Yung isa ay 50% pa yung carbon-14. At yung isang fossil ay 12.5 na carbon na lamang. So, ang tanong dito, sino po dito ang mas bata pang fossil? Yung po bang may 50% na carbon-14 pa sa fossil o yung 12.5 na carbon-14 doon sa fossil? Okay, so tama uli anak ang sagot ninyo. Mas bata yung fossil na meron pang 50% na carbon-14 kesa doon sa 12.5% na carbon-14 sa kanyang fossil. Meaning, mas madaming carbon-14 pa doon sa fossil, mas bata. Pag unti na ng carbon-14 doon sa fossil, mas matanda. May nag-chat sa akin, Ma'am, ano po ba yung carbon-14? Carbon-14 is a method used to determine the age of rocks using the decay of radioactive isotope present in rocks. And scientists develop the geologic timescale out of the examination of layers of rocks and dating fossils. It shows the major events in Earth history and the appearance of various kinds of an organism in a particular period. So this is an example of geologic timescale, a brief history of Earth since 4.6 billion years. Comparative anatomies between parrots and humans. I-compare ba tayo sa loro? Obvious, parehas tayo may mata, parehas tayo may paa, pero magkaiba yung ating function. Actually, this is another evidence used by paleontologists for evolution, the comparative anatomy. It is the study of the similarities and differences in the anatomy of different species. Let us identify first the parts of our arm. We have here the humerus, radius and ulna, phalanges, metacarpals, and carpals. How about on the back? Same color. Ibig sabihin, meron din tong humerus, meron din tong radius and ulna, phalanges, metacarpals, and carpals. Sa whale, kita natin, pares din sila ng kulay, diba? So, ibig sabihin, ito ay humerus, ito ay radius and ulna, the phalanges, the metacarpals, and carpals. Sa kabayo, meron din pala itong humerus. May radius and ulna, may phalanges, metacarpals, carpals. So, ibig sabihin, those organisms, they have the same parts but different functions. May naglalakad, may tumatakbo, may lumalangoy, at mayroong lumilipad. Therefore, this is an example of homologous structure that may perform different functions but it may have the same origin. The first thing it will come into our mind is parehas silang lumilipad. Pero ang paru-paro ba, mayroong buto? Diba wala? So this is an example of analogous structure. Pertains to species with similar functions but different origins. What if this is my task to you? Hanapin sa dalawang organism yung kulay na wala sa isa't isa. Meron nga ba? Wala. Pero kung yung task ko naman ay sabihin sa akin yung kulay na parehas meron sila. O diba, ang dami? Parehas sila may blue, parehas sila may green, violet. Kasi parehas silang lumilipad. So this is an example, another evidence used by paleontologists for evolution. Genetic information. Another evidence of evolution in which organisms have the basic heredity units for all life that consist of similar nucleotides and proteins. This is the sequence of amino acid for each organism. This is the organism and this is their amino acid. Okay, basahin muna natin. Dun sa tao. Asparagine, peninalanin, argine, leucine, leucine, glycine, asparagine, valine, leucine, valine, cysteine, valine, leucine, alanine, histine. Okay, that's all mga anak. So let's recap. What are the different evidence used by paleontologists for evolution? 1. Fossil records. And fossils can be classified it's either compression or impression. We have also different methods used by paleontologists to determine the age of the fossil, the relative dating and the carbon dating. Another evidence used by paleontologists is comparative anatomy. And we have two types used in comparative anatomy, the homologous structure and analogous structure. And the last one is we have the genetic information. Now, let us have your learning task. Ito yung mga learning tasks na makikita rin natin sa ating activity sheet. For your learning task 1, I want you to classify the following fossils as to impression and compression. For your learning task 2, I want you to study the geologic timescale table and answer the following guide question. So this is your geologic timescale table. Atin munang tingnan maigi, atin munang pag-aralang mabuti yung kanilang arrangement. And this is your guide question na kinakailangan of course nating sagutan. For your learning task 3, identify the words as described by the following statement. Learning task 4, I want you to classify the following as analogous or homologous. For your learning task 5, comparison of amino acid sequence. Carefully study the sequence of amino acid for each organism. Again, andyan ulit yung table, andyan si organism, andyan din yung amino acid ng bawat organism. Sa activity sheet, mayroon doong table. Kinakailangan malagyan natin ng amino acid ang bawat organism. Okay, example. Gamitin natin example ang kangaroo. So, ilagay natin dito yung amino acid ni kangaroo. 102. Tingnan natin. Ang amino acid ni kangaroo sa 102 ay asparagine. So, ilagay natin dito si A. Pero dapat siya ay ASN. Para lang siya magkasya, inilagay ko lang ay A. 103, phenylalanine. Lagay natin ay P. 104, lysine. 105, leucine. Since pareha sila, ilagay lang natin ay small I. 106, leucine uli. Small I uli, para lang may symbol tayo. 107, glycine. Lagay uli si glycine, symbol, GLY, pero sa akin ay G lang, para lang siya ay magkasya. Sa 108, asparagine. 109, isoleucine. So, ilagay natin ang capital I. Pero dapat siya ay ILE. Ginawan ko lang capital I para lang siya ay magkasya. 110, isoleucine ulit. 111, valine. 112, isoleucine. 113, cysteine. 114, leucine. So, small I. 115, alanine. And then, 116, glutamic. Ngayon, after nating mapuno yan, bibilangin ngayon natin yung pagkakaiba ng amino acid ni human kay kangaroo. So, tingnan natin, ilan yung pagkakaiba. Parehas silang mayroong asparagine, peninanaline. Parehas silang parehas nga ba? May argine. Hindi, kasi sa human, argine, sa kangaroo ay lysine. So, isa na yon. 1, ilan lahat? So, 105, leucine, parehas. Okay? Tingnan natin, ilan lahat ang pagkakaiba. Tingnan nyo natin kung parehas dito. Human versus kangaroo. Parehas, parehas, hindi. 1. Parehas, parehas, parehas ulit, parehas ulit. Magkaiba na, valine at saka isoleucine, 2. 110, leucine at saka isoleucine, 3. Parehas. Magkaiba, 4. Magkaiba, 5. Parehas. Parehas. 116. Magkaiba, 6. After nating bilangin ngayon yan, ilalagay ngayon natin sa table na to yung number of amino acid differences ni human and kangaroo, which is 6. And then, sasagutan na yung ating guide question. Now, tapos na tayo sa ating learning task. Time for us na nasagutan pa yung ibang nakikita natin sa activity sheet, mayroon dong concept mapping, mayroon dong essay, at the same time na ando na rin si something. Again, mga anak, makatulong ang PowerPoint na to para mas madaling matutunan natin yung ating mga topic. Pwede nating balik-balikan ang PowerPoint na to kung sakaling hindi natin nauunawaan yung mga nababasa natin sa ating activity sheet. Hanggang sa muli, mga anak. Salamat!